Good song, and probably very relatable. I think we can all relate to that. That was Benjamin, Benjamin Todd, I Will Rise. Very nice. He has a nice voice. And yeah, I think very powerful. We can all relate to, well, maybe not the shakes from not having a drink, but we can all relate to how we beat ourselves up. Isn't it funny how quite often we mock positive affirmations because of the stigma that goes with them, or, you know, thanks Stuart Smalley, whatever. So we will mock that, and we feel weird doing it. Like the girl in that other audio that was talking about mirror work. That's really hard, to look directly into your own eyes in the mirror and just acknowledge that even you like yourself, if you can't even go to the next step of loving yourself. But you know, it's so easy for us to beat ourselves up. It's so easy for us to turn around and say, oh, I'm so stupid. Oh, I'm so clumsy. Oh, I just can't get anything right. I am always late. I am always whatever. No, what you are is you're a self-fulfilling prophecy. And whether you say you can or you say you can't, you're right. Right? And that's what it is. You've laid the path. You've made the intention. So very important that we make intentions every day. You know, we've spent years just flying by the seat of our pants, haven't we? Where we just let life happen to us instead of taking control. You know, I posted a thing last night on one of these other groups that I'm in, and about just making an intention at night. When you're laying in bed at night, make a decision. Tomorrow I'm going to have a great day. You don't have to be over specific. You can if you want. Like, hey, rock on. But sometimes it's easier to keep it general, because the key is it has to be believable, right? It has to be believable. You have to believe in yourself. You have to know that anything is possible. You know, you're just as worthy as the next person. You're just as worthy as the person in front of you in line, the person behind you. You know, somebody bought me a lottery ticket on the weekend, one of the people that was in the vehicle says, yeah, that's what you always wanted, was a lottery ticket. Heck yeah, I do. Because you know what? Somebody's got to win, right? I realize how much the odds are against me to be the winner. I realize that, but what way am I going to look at it? Am I going to look at that ticket and say, well, I have one chance in 17 million of winning, or whatever the odds are? Or am I going to look at it and say, you know what? Somebody's going to win. It may as well be me. It may as well be me. And I don't know, you know, how many people you've met in your lifetime that have won the lottery, but I can honestly say I know quite a few. My ex-husband, when we were married, he won $25,000 in a bingo scratch ticket. Oh man, that was when I was pregnant with my daughter 23 years ago. So that was very close. The guy I used to work for, his brother won, I don't know, the Lotterio or something, like twice. I have another girlfriend. She's won the 649. Not the big, you know, so many $1 million, but she won over 100,000. And then like 3 years later, won like another 30,000 or something. Statistically, think about that. That is pretty amazing. But it's all about being open to it. All about, if you walk in there and you're like, I don't know why I keep buying these things, I never win, then I think what you should do is you should write on an envelope, Michelle Dion, I'll give you my address, and just send that money to me. Because you're right, you're not going to win. You already called it. So why are you wasting your money playing? If you're not walking in with the intention of, you know what, this might be the time I win, then don't waste your money. Go and buy yourself a nice, healthy bunch of bananas or something. Something else that's going to suit you better than wasting your money on something that you don't believe in. I watch those videos every once in a while, probably more than I care to admit, of people who have won. And so many times they say, I knew I was going to win, it was just a matter of time. You know, or they visualize, they use the law of attraction like I do. And they visualize, they won, what they did, you know, this, that, and the other thing. What they'll do with the money, like, oh, we're in exciting times and we have a lot of power. We just need to take control, and it all starts in your head, right? Be positive, take control, know that anything is possible. There is no black clouds following anybody around, you know, or if there is, I hate to tell you, you put it there, blow it off. Get it the heck out of there, because you are worthy to have all your dreams come true. Everything. Well, with, as long, you have to keep your common sense hat on, though. If you're still questing the unicorn, it's probably not going to happen. If you have, not a very high education and you think you're going to be an astronaut, probably not going to happen. But with a little common sense, you can figure it out, right? Your dreams can come true, my friends. And one of my dreams are doing the good news. I love doing the good news with you guys. So, I'm at that age that my eyes are changing, and I'm just getting past denial that that I need to wear cheaters. So I have so many different pairs of cheaters all around, and I just randomly grab pairs. So this is my pair for today, and they have they're like zebra striped, which is very cool. So this morning I got up and I put them on, and I got right in my granddaughter's face. Sort of startled her a little bit. It was pretty funny. But I've decided that that's going to be one of the things that I'm going to do, is just have these rotating funky glasses. Going to be one of my new little niche things. I used to do socks, but not everybody gets to see my socks, so everybody gets to see my glasses. So I love that. All ways we can be original, right? We need to do that. We need to embrace it. Whatever it is that's different about you, celebrate it. It's time for celebration. So many good things going on in the world. And I love the people that are focusing on solutions, not dwelling on the problems. So this is very interesting. A progressively worsening form of dementia, Alzheimer's disease, is best known for the way it affects the memory. As the condition interferes with nerve cells in the brain, it can become increasingly difficult for patients to recognize close friends and family. Researchers are committed to finding a cure. More than 90% of what we know about Alzheimer's was discovered in the past 20 years alone, according to the Alzheimer's. What did I do there? More than 90% of what we know about Alzheimer's was discovered in the last 20 years alone, according to the Alzheimer's Association. Sorry about that. But those affected and their loved ones are hoping to find faster solutions in other venues. 14-year-old Emma Yang put her programming skills to work. You heard me, right? 14. Creating an app that may one day help her grandmother, who is diagnosed with the disease, remember her loved ones. According to Fast Company, Yang coded an app called Timeless, which uses facial recognition to inform users about who a person is and what their relationship is to the patient. If a user doesn't recognize someone, he or she can snap a photo, and Timeless will try to fetch the details. With repetitive scrolling and browsing of photos, it's possible patients will be able to retain information about that individual. Timeless also brings up appointment reminders and can notify users when they might be performing a task repetitively. If a user calls a friend after failing to remember the first call, for example, Timeless will put up a notification that it's the second call made in a short time period. Wow, isn't that cool? So Yang is hoping that an Indiegogo campaign will be able to raise enough funds for further development and a formal study on the apps. Oh my goodness. Isn't that a 14-year-old? I absolutely love that. That is so inspiring, and really, what a brilliant idea. I mean, anybody with a passport, they have our facial key points or whatever. That's why you have to go to certain places to get your passport photo, right? Because they pinpoint certain things, whatever. So that is absolutely brilliant. So moving forward, that is definitely going to help people. That is so awesome. Next story. This is really cool, especially here in Canada. Right now we're a little season challenged. It's been winter for the last 2 days. 2 days before that, it was like spring. The poor flowers under the dirt must be so challenged not knowing what the heck is going on. But today, it is freaking cold outside. It is definitely winter. So, also, it is winter in Cincinnati. Little random acts of kindness are appearing across Cincinnati. Bundled up in waterproof bags, small care packages are scattered across the city, available to anyone who might need them. It's all part of a citywide campaign called Kind Flash. If you're on Twitter, you can go pound Kind Flash. The campaign itself is nothing new. In fact, it's been going on for several years. But the winter months seem to draw more need, and the small parcels are showing up with increased regularity in several communities. On Tuesday afternoon, tied with a bright red ribbon to a pole in Walnut Hills, one such Kind Flash package was found. Inside was a blue fleece sweatshirt. A note attached said in part, "If you are cold and need a hug, please take me with you." Organizers say their mission is to deepen a sense of community and place across the city with both spontaneous and coordinated acts of kindness, with the intention of improving lives and creating opportunities for people to come together and interact. That's what we need. That one love, right? It's part of the love revolution. And doing it in a bag is brilliant. Excuse me. Here in Sarnia, I see a lot of poles that have scarves tied around them. And actually right down the street from my house, there was a pole, and it probably had 10 or 15 scarves on it before Christmas, all different colors. It looked really groovy. And I see now it's down to 2 scarves. So this is wonderful. People are stopping and they're grabbing the scarves. You know, take as many as you need. Wrap them around your whole body if you have to. I mean, if you're homeless and you're trying to just, you know, oh my goodness, just get by through the day, then, you know, do what you have to. It's unfortunate that this is the world that we live in right now, but I can be hopeful that better times are ahead. And then the last story I have for you today, very interesting, very inspired by the youth, I tell you. Truesdell Education Campus has a problem. The school can't keep its shelves stocked with the most popular books. Students are not so subtly reading in class when they should be paying attention to their teachers. And some boys are crowding the library before the morning bell even sounds. With the help of an administrator, 10 fifth graders started a book club at this school in the Brightwood neighborhood of Northwest Washington, and it has fast become the most popular book club on campus, with staff members struggling to keep up with their students' literary habits. The books that we read here, we can relate to, 11-year-old Devin Wesley said. The book club has finally allowed Devin to encounter black characters who look like him. The club dates back to December when a 5th grader complained one morning that his lackluster results on his citywide English exam didn't reflect his true reading abilities. The principal, Mary Ann Stinson, placed a book she had lying around, Bad Boy, a Memoir, by Walter Dean Myers, in his hands and told him to start reading. Michael Redmond, the assistant principal, saw this unfold and called in Devin, a popular and smart student on campus who often needs an extra push. He didn't want the reading assignment to feel like a punishment, so Redmond asked Devin, his classmate who was given Bad Boy, and a 3rd student to read the book together. The boys quickly became engrossed in the 2001 book about Myers' childhood in New York's Harlem. By the end of the day, Redmond said the other students spotted Devin and his friends reading the book and asked the assistant principal if he had a copy for them. The library had only a few available, so Redmond ordered a handful more. He decided he would use this enthusiasm to help students organize an all-male book club, accepting the first 10 students who said they were interested in extra reading and discussions outside of school hours. Redmond, a George Washington University doctoral student whose dissertation is focused on the educational advancement of minority boys, said he remembered being aware as a kid that people didn't expect boys of color to be readers. Interesting. He wanted to shatter that stereotype for these boys and for everyone they encounter in their lives. In the district, black male students are the lowest performing demographic on standardized tests, statistics that mirror national education trends. President Barack Obama had attempted to address these disparities through the My Brother's Keeper initiative, which aims to improve outcome for boys and young men of color. The district has pushed to close this achievement gap through its Empowering Males of Color program, which awards grants to gender-based programs. What a beautiful thing for teachers to be able to see boys who look like this be so into reading, Redmond said. He did not imagine the kids would be this serious about reading and about doing something that we didn't ask them to do. Aha, there you go. Redmond and the boys meet once or twice a week at 8:15 a.m., a half hour before the first bell rings, and use the book to launch into conversations about their own experiences with race, identity, and adolescence. There's a line in Bad Boy where he says, "I prefer not to be seen as black," and he didn't want his accomplishments to be viewed as Negro accomplishments. Redmond said at the beginning of the book club last week, he wrote that line not because he was ashamed of being black, but why? The students, wearing sweatshirts that said "Pound Brilliant Brown Boy," shot their hands straight up. They sat at desks pushed together to form a large square, all huddled over their creased books. Because you can be smart, not because you're black, but because you're smart, period, 10-year-old Kamari Stark said. Kamari, an aspiring zoologist, said he joined the book club because he wanted to be part of it. He devoured the 200-page book in just 2 days, reading it whenever he had a few minutes to spare. Kamari's mom told Redmond that her son always had his face in the book, even when he was out on the sidewalk. The club's just completed Bad Boy and is on to its second book, Monster, a Myers novel about a teenager on trial for murder. Most of the boys said they've already finished the book. In our classes, there are way less interesting books, and these books are way more interesting, Kamari said. These books are about people. It's still too early to know whether the book club is affecting students' reading test scores, but Steve Opperly, Truesdell's vice president in charge of literacy, said it's already changing the campus reading culture, and he suspects it's boosting students' reading levels. This is absolutely awesome. The article goes on a little bit more, and I'm not going to continue to read it all. But what a wonderful thing. And does that not totally make sense? It absolutely does, because this is what they're interested in, and it's relatable, right? Little girls follow the princess movies because they want to be the princess. They found it relatable. I'm not saying it's necessarily relatable, but it totally makes sense. And, I'm such a big advocate of reading. I spent so much of my youth with my nose in the book. I loved it because I realized early on you could live your life through books, couldn't you? You could, it was just awesome. And you want to boost your vocabulary? Read a book. You want to learn how to spell? Read a book. This is so awesome. And they're not on phones. They're not on iPads. They're reading books. That is great news. That story just made my whole day. So, there you go. That's the good news for today. I hope you enjoyed it. All those articles will be on the Facebook Positive Power page. And, wow, that is just really good news. I know. It's the simple things. What a simple concept. How long had those books been in that library for and nobody paid attention to them? But somebody had an inspired thought. They reacted, right? You have the thought, you react, and that's how change begins. I love it. So there you go. Good news for today.